Today, Israel and Iran are seen as enemies. But that was not always true.
Before the revolution, before the shadow war, before the nuclear fear, they quietly worked together.
Their relationship was not friendship. It was strategy.
Oil, intelligence, fear, and geography tied them together.
Israel was young, isolated, and surrounded by hostile states.
Iran was powerful, non-Arab, and worried about its own regional rivals.
Both governments feared the same storm rising around them.
So behind closed doors, old enemies of today became quiet partners.
Ordinary people did not always know how much was happening in the shadows.
This is the story of how Israel and Iran went from allies to enemies.
To understand the modern rivalry, we must first reject a simple myth.
These peoples were not born as eternal enemies.
In Jewish memory, ancient Persia could even appear as a power of return and survival.
Jewish communities lived in Iran for centuries. Their history was layered, human, and more complicated than political slogans.
But the modern conflict belongs to the age of modern states. After World War II, the Middle East entered a new political era.
In 1948, Israel emerged into a region already filled with tension.
For Israelis, the new state represented refuge and survival.
For many Palestinians, it meant displacement, loss, and anger.
Israel soon faced hostility from many surrounding Arab governments. Iran, however, was different.
Iran was not an Arab state. It had its own language, monarchy, and strategic fears.
Tehran watched Arab nationalism with suspicion.
Powerful Arab leaders claimed to speak for the entire region.
Their message threatened monarchies, Western allies, and regional rivals.
Israel faced a different danger: isolation.
Many doors in the region were closed to it.
So Israel looked toward the region's edges.
Strategy created possibilities that public politics could not.
This became part of Israel's periphery strategy.
The idea was simple: build ties beyond immediate enemies. Iran, under the Shah, fit this strategy perfectly. Tehran wanted influence, technology, and Western-aligned partnerships.
Israel needed fuel, trade, and strategic breathing room.
Oil became one of the quiet foundations of cooperation.
Much of the relationship stayed discreet.
Open friendship with Israel could be politically costly inside the region.
But quiet cooperation served both governments.
Iraq was one source of shared anxiety.
The Cold War made every regional rivalry more dangerous.
The struggle for influence in the Persian Gulf defined the Cold War.
Israel wanted information, access, and depth.
Their partnership was not sentimental.
It was built on interest.
His government presented Iran as modern, strong, and Western-aligned.
The Shah valued relations with the United States and Europe.
Security shaped his worldview.
Iran's geography made it a gatekeeper of energy and trade.
Oil gave Iran money, influence, and vulnerability.
But modernization did not satisfy everyone.
Many felt left behind by rapid change.
Students, clerics, workers, and intellectuals criticized the monarchy for different reasons.
Political repression deepened resentment.
Religious opposition also grew.
Some clerics saw the Shah as too close to the West.
Politics entered homes through whispers, sermons, and broadcasts.
As the Cold War deepened, these elaborate processions became crucial demonstrations of state control and ideological unity.
But beneath the surface, pressure was building.
Through all of this, the relationship with Israel remained sensitive.
Israel benefited from Iranian oil and discreet contact.
Iran benefited from a useful regional channel.
Neither side needed affection to cooperate.
But the politics inside Iran would soon change everything.
Israel's leaders understood isolation as a strategic danger.
Its borders were narrow, and its enemies were close.
Every route mattered.
Fuel was not just economic, it was survival.
The state was still young and still building itself. Ordinary citizens lived under the shadow of regional war. Many neighboring governments rejected formal relations.
So Israel searched for partners beyond its immediate neighborhood.
Non-Arab powers became strategically important.
Some contacts happened far from public view.
Intelligence channels became part of the relationship.
Iranian oil helped Israel reduce vulnerability.
Iran did not act out of charity.
Tehran saw benefit in balancing Arab rivals.
Arab nationalism was powerful, emotional, and transnational.
It challenged monarchies and Western-aligned governments.
Iran worried about Iraq, borders, and revolutionary ideas.
Israel worried about coordinated Arab military pressure.
Different fears pushed them toward the same calculation.
Cooperation grew, but remained delicate.
Oil was one of the strongest links between the two states.
Israel needed reliable energy under regional pressure.
Iran needed markets, money, and leverage.
Publicly, the relationship was limited. Privately, it was useful.
Iran did not act out of charity.
Geography tied distant concerns together.
Technical exchange also had value.
Iran wanted modernization and expertise.
Messages moved through careful channels. The language of the relationship was not emotion. It was balance, access, and survival.
Israel saw Iran as a door into a hostile region.
Iran saw Israel as a useful counterweight.
But Iran itself was changing fast.
New ideas challenged the monarchy from many directions.
Religious opposition became more organized.
Economic inequality fed anger.
Every crisis became part of a larger story.
The state still looked stable from the outside. But the ground beneath it was moving.
No history of Israel and Iran can ignore the Palestinian question.
For Palestinians, 1948 became a story of displacement and loss. Across the Arab world, Palestine became a powerful political symbol.
In Iran, sympathy for Palestinians existed even under the Shah.
But the monarchy balanced public opinion against strategic interests.
Israel knew that open friendship with Iran had limits.
Religion, nationalism, and anti-colonial politics often overlapped. Arab leaders used Palestine to mobilize regional opinion.
Iranian opposition groups used it as a language of resistance.
The Shah's quiet ties with Israel became one more point of criticism.
The relationship survived because both governments kept it careful.
It was cooperation without public warmth.
The entire region was listening. Every official gesture carried symbolic weight. For ordinary people, foreign policy was not abstract.
It entered homes as fear, hope, and uncertainty.
Old memories met new borders.
The partnership existed inside a storm of contradictions.
Contradictions can survive only for so long.
By the 1970s, Iran approached a breaking point.
This era marked a turning point. The promise of endless mobility was met with the harsh reality of congestion and the looming energy crisis.
But so was the backlash against it. Many people moved, adapted, and struggled.
Students demanded political freedom.
Religious leaders criticized Western influence and royal power.
The influence here runs deeper than they understood.
Leftists condemned inequality and authoritarian rule.
Workers felt pressure from rising expectations.
The state answered dissent with control.
Repression became part of the opposition's memory.
Official media projected confidence.
But alternative voices spread through homes and mosques.
Sermons and recordings traveled faster than censors could stop them.
Protest energy widened across the country.
By 1978, demonstrations became impossible to ignore.
Daily life began to bend under political pressure.
The monarchial's distance from society became visible. Israel watched the crisis with deep concern.
The relationship depended on the Shah's survival.
And the Shah's survival was no longer certain.
For Israel, the question became urgent. If Iran changed, would the secret partnership survive? On the streets of Iran, the answer was already forming.
The old relationship was about to be locked away.
In Part 2, a revolution will turn a quiet partner into a declared enemy.